Hey Zara, you are ready, aren't you? I swear, women always take at least 5 times as long as dudes to get ready for things.
Chill, it's okay. I'm nearly ready. It's our wedding day. Surely I get a pass today of all days. Good morning, Graham. Bear with me a few more minutes, honey. I'll be ready to leave the house real soon, okay?
Alright, sweet.
Graham, everything is gonna be okay today, right?
What do you mean?
The thing with your 3 friends before, Jeff, Alex, and Mike, I heard about how they tried to pull an awful, mean-spirited prank on the bride at one of their old classmates' weddings and ended up getting thrown out of the church. They wouldn't try to do anything like that this time around, would they? Obviously, I didn't invite them when I heard about what they did. But we are holding the wedding locally, and it won't be the weirdest thing in the world if they had already caught wind of the time, date, and venue. It is a small town, after all. To tell you the truth, I'm kind of worried, Graham.
Oh, those 3 doofuses. If they tried pulling any funny business without my permission, they know I'd end up giving a stern telling off. Don't worry, babe. They wouldn't dream of it.
Oh, I see. Well, in that case, I'm pleased.
For God, you're so neurotic, babe. How many times do I gotta tell you to stop worrying over little things like this? You'll drive yourself into an early grave.
I guess you're right.
You know, I could actually see you calling off the wedding because you're so worried. You better not do anything crazy. Seriously. That would not be a laughing matter. Alright, babe. See you at the church.
Sure. I'll catch you later.
Yo, Zara, what's up, girl? Yeehaw! It's your old classmate, Jeff. How's it hanging? What's that? You don't remember giving me your number? Oh, don't worry. That's a minor detail. We can clear that up later. I doubt you'll see these messages till after you're done with the banquet. You're probably too busy right now. But that's actually why I'm messaging you up. You see, me, Alex, and Mike might not have been invited to the wedding. But you bet your sweet ass you're gonna be showing up to gate crash the place and pull a little prank so epic, it'll blow your mind. A boom. This is your official notice that the 3 of us just succeeded in sneaking into the church and are currently hiding in a top secret, undisclosed location with the assistance of a close friend. Oh, we're about to launch our secret attack, so get hyped! Zara, that was too damn funny. Sure, sneaking up from behind and slamming your head face down in the wedding cake like that might have been exactly what we planned. But we had no idea you'd stand on your dress and fall forward in the momentum. Man, seeing you hit the floor head first on the concrete like that before your ruined wedding cake tumbled down on you in an epic splatter was something out of a damn cartoon. Seriously, you couldn't write something this good if you tried. I guess you could say our grand surprise was a resounding success. If you ask me, getting the heads up from the groom in advance was the secret to everything going so well. Alright, well, our work here is done. We'll be heading off now. Enjoy your wedding. Oh man, that was such a blast. Wait a sec. Oh babe, why'd you have to fall over so hilariously? I'm gonna bust a rib if I don't stop laughing soon. Man, seeing you go face first into the cake before tripping on your dress and hitting the deck in front of the guests on your own wedding day. Funniest thing I've ever seen. Oh, not to mention your reaction. That was even more dramatic than we expected. Nice work, babe. You have a future in Hollywood with performances like that. Alright. Oh, the fun's over. Hurry up and get changed and get your ass back out here. We've got a wedding to hold and the masses are waiting. Zara, what are you doing, babe? How long are you going to keep up this sulking act? You can't do this forever, you know. We have to get married now. The only reason your wedding dress is ruined is because you stepped on it and fell over when the boys pulled their little prank. That wasn't part of the plan. Oh, besides, you got changed immediately after, right? With a quick change of clothes and a little touching up of your makeup, you'll be back to beautiful. And it'll be like nothing ever happened. Oh, you do know you're making all the guests wait now, right? Plus, you're causing hella inconvenience for the church staff. You think they get paid to sit around all day waiting for you to pull yourself together? Hurry up and get your ass back out here, woman.
The wedding is off. I want a divorce.
What did you just say? What the hell are you talking about? Hey, Zara, what the heck's wrong with you? How could you be so horrible? You reported my freaking buddies to the cops. What the hell's gotten into you? That whole thing at the wedding was just a little surprise, that's all. Just a bit of harmless fun, a silly prank. I'm your husband, and those guys are my friends. As my wife, you should be mature enough to know how to handle a joke. Why couldn't you just laugh it off and get on with the wedding like any normal person would? I mean, seriously, you joking, me? Our wedding got freaking cancelled as a result of your selfish overreaction. I'm going to have to go around returning all the wedding gifts now. Did you even see how nice the toaster Mitch and his wife gave us was? Not to mention the silver-plated detachable shower head from Craig. Now I'm going to have to give it all back, and it's all your fault. Thanks to your dumb, selfish actions, we may as well have thrown the $15,000 we spent on the wedding down the drain. Do you even understand the gravity of what you've done? You're in serious shit here, woman.
You probably already heard this from my lawyer, but when I tripped over at the wedding, I hit my head on the floor and suffered a concussion.
Huh?
You know that message I sent where I called off the wedding and asked for a divorce? It wasn't me who sent that. It was my mom. I was so weak and dizzy I could barely use my phone all day. Also, I sprained both of my ankles. That's not all. The wedding dress I rented now has a 20-centimeter hole in it due to the fact I was holding a knife to cut the wedding cake when your friends decided to push me over. I'm lucky I didn't end up catching myself with it and getting seriously injured. Do you seriously think I was in any state to carry on with the banquet after that? The only one who threw that $15,000 down the drain is you.
But...
We are absolutely getting a divorce, and there is nothing you can say to change my mind.
I do not agree to this. The only reason I agreed for my buddies to pull that little stunt at the banquet was to surprise you on your special day. Aren't weddings supposed to be memorable? You should be thanking me, not divorcing me. But no, you had to go speak to the cops about it, didn't you? You damn nut job. 3 of my pals have criminal records now, thanks to you. Do you have any idea how pissed they are at me? I told them you'd see the funny side and laugh it off. They would never have done it if they knew this would happen. Not only that, but on top of embarrassing me and totally wrecking my reputation with my buddies, you're asking for a divorce and compensation on top of it. God damn it, woman, you've got some nerve. Oh, and I'm not done yet, so you had better keep listening. Why on God's green earth should I be the one to bear the entire financial burden for the costs of the wedding? You think I can just pull $15,000 out of my arse like some goddamn magician? If anyone's got to pay, it should be you.
Graham, you knew full well how worried I was about your 3 friends showing up at the wedding, and you knew full well I was against it. You gave permission for them to pull their little stunt while having absolutely no idea what their surprise actually consisted of, didn't you?
It wouldn't be a surprise if I knew what was going to happen, moron.
That's not the point. I had 3 guys sneak up on me from behind before restraining me and forcefully slamming my face down into my own wedding cake on my own wedding day. What kind of surprise do you call that? Maybe, just maybe, I would have given you the benefit of the doubt if you condemned what they did since you didn't actually know what they were going to do beforehand, but no, you're actually defending them.
Well, if you would have had a stronger posture and kept a firm footing, none of this would have ever happened. This is all your fault.
While wearing a long dress I wasn't used to wearing, while wearing high heels, get real. Do you seriously think a lone woman dressed like that can win against 3 guys who attack her from behind by surprise? If so, you may actually be more detached from reality than I thought.
Well,
Then to top it all off, instead of rushing over to help me when you saw what happened, you stood with Jeff and the guys while pointing and laughing at me like a bunch of kids in the school playground.
But I never knew things would get this out of hand.
You mean you couldn't see this coming? It doesn't take a genius, Graham. Jeff and the guys have previous records, you know? This isn't the first wedding they've crashed, and I know you know what they're like. Luckily, someone figured out what they were up to and put a stop to it beforehand that time, but what they were planning to do was so messed up, it's enough to send a chill down the spine of any decent, respectable human being. That's why we agreed they wouldn't be getting an invite to our wedding. Why would you blatantly ignore my wishes and let them into the church behind my back in spite of all that? Why did you leave them completely to their own devices while having absolutely no idea what their surprise actually consisted of?
Well, that was...
What was it, Graham? Go on, I'm listening.
It was,
What?
It was,
Pathetic. Look at you, you're not even capable of speaking. Anyone in their right mind would want to divorce you after what you did. I'd have to be nuts to stay married to a jerk like you. You do understand why you're the one who'll be covering all the costs for the wedding, right? Then there's the compensation you'll be paying me. Then there's the fact your 3 friends now have criminal records. I won't let you say you don't understand why any of this happened.
Zara, please, can I have one more chance? I promise I'll never do anything like this again.
Get real. Like hell I'm giving you another chance, you jerk. Goodbye.
Hey, Zara. It's been 5 years. I heard you're getting married again. I know where it's going to be held. I know the time and date, too. It's today. I'm heading out now. I'll be seeing you real soon, babe. Look, it's finally time for me and you to get remarried. I'll prepare for the flame of our passion to be reignited in epic fashion. Yeehaw. Hey, what the hell's going on? But why? To think I went out of my way to dress up nice in my tux and crash your wedding in a dramatic display of romance before sweeping you off your feet and kissing you in front of your jilted fiancé, only to find out that you weren't the bride? Jesus, Zara, you should have seen the look on that dude's face when I sprinted up to the altar and started kissing his wife. Weren't you supposed to be getting married at the Godwinson Hotel today? Hey, answer me.
What is wrong with you?
Ah, Zara, there you are. Where are you right now?
Whether I get married or not has nothing to do with you.
Answer my question. I asked you where you are. Answer me now.
I'm at the Godwinson Hotel in Hawaii. Why?
There's a Godwinson Hotel in Hawaii, too?
Why don't you take a look at their homepage instead of bugging me with asinine questions?
Oh, God damn it. You're in another country. Ah, screw my life. I was sure you were still in Indiana.
To tell you the truth, after what you did to me on our wedding day, just the thought alone of being in the same state as you was terrifying. I quit my job and moved out of state on my own. I'm in Hawaii right now, but I don't live here, and I'm not going to tell you where I do live. I went to a different state and started my life over. I fell in love with a guy I met there, and we just got married.
What? But why? Zara, I still have feelings for you.
I don't believe you for 1 second, Graham. Besides, being told the jerk who made a total laughingstock of me on my wedding day has feelings for me doesn't exactly give me butterflies in my stomach.
But please, babe, I told you I never meant for things to go down that way.
Whether you meant it or not, you still gave a band of notorious wedding crashers full license to do whatever they wanted to me on what should have been the most special day of our lives. You are disgusting. You make me physically sick. You scare me, and I hate you.
No, Zara.
Let me guess. You probably think that by making up with me and us getting back together, you can restore your old reputation after it hit rock bottom when everyone found out what you did to me? I don't know whether there's any point in me telling you this, because it should be patently obvious by now, but I don't need you in my life anymore, Graham.
No, wait, please, I'm begging you.
Never contact me again.
No, wait, please, just give me a chance to explain, baby. Baby, please. Okay, I'm in trouble. Big trouble. I just got a message from some dude's lawyer. Apparently, I'm getting a bill for compensation for that wedding I crashed by mistake. You know, the one I mistook for yours. They seem pissed, and I don't think they're gonna go easy on me. Oh, there's no way I can come up with this much money. I'm gonna have to go into more debt at this rate. Please, Zara, I need some money. Can I have some money? My parents disowned me, and I'm all on my own. You're the only person I can turn to. Look, I'm begging you. You have to help me, somehow. Did all those years we spent together count for nothing? Hello? Zara? Are you there? Please respond. Why aren't you reading my messages? Zara?
Back when we divorced 5 years ago, I still felt kinda afraid Graham might do something crazy if I did anything to provoke him. So I decided not to block his number. It turns out I did the right thing. According to one of my friends back in Indiana, Graham crashed the wedding of total strangers by mistake, thinking it was mine, and ended up getting a bill for $30,000 in compensation. Apparently, he quit his job at the company he was at while we were together a while back, and he currently isn't working at all, meaning he has zero income. To make matters worse, I heard he's been borrowing money from a black market loan shark notorious for using violence and intimidation to collect his debts. Rumor has it that a black car with tinted windows was seen pulling up outside Graham's beat-up old apartment in the dead of night before 4 mean-looking bald guys in leather jackets jumped out and bundled him into the boot. I don't know exactly what happened to him after that, but apparently he convinced one of his relatives to help him out with the debt repayments. Last I heard, he's currently being forced to work in conditions close to slavery, in a job of questionable legality, in a desperate attempt to come up with the money he owes and earn back his freedom.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Oh, hey there. Good morning, Monica. Are you going to work in those worn-out old rags that look like a 20-year-old present from your grandma again today, you broke loser? Hey, Roxanne. I'm pretty sure my clothes fall under office casual, and they're definitely not worn out. Anyway, what do the clothes I choose to wear to work have to do with you? It's not like I'm causing you any problems. Oh dear, what a shame. I see you still have precisely zero self-awareness. Your very existence is a problem when you go to work looking homeless every day, dear. How am I a problem? You walk around the neighborhood dressed like a broke loser, radiating the intolerable stench of poverty. Every time I walk past you, I have to pinch my nose. If I'm not careful, I could become poor like you just by being in your vicinity. It really is time you learn to have a little self-awareness, dear. If you don't get on top of your stench soon, the entire neighborhood will be wearing nose plugs. I have no idea what makes you think I'm a broke loser who radiates the smell of poverty, but me and my family really don't struggle with money as much as you seem to think we do. Are you joking? I've seen your house, dear. You're nothing but a broke part-time housewife who lives in a shabby, run-down ground floor apartment in the rough part of town. Excuse me? You obviously had no choice but to live there because the rent is dirt cheap and you couldn't afford anywhere more respectable. The place is so beat up, I wouldn't be surprised if the roof leaked every time it rained. You must have to walk around on your tiptoes to avoid the 200-year-old floor creaking. You seem to be making a bunch of huge misunderstandings here, Roxanne. I don't know why you think I work part-time, but I don't. As for the apartment, it was fully renovated 5 years ago. Nothing in there is 200 years old. Huh? It originally belonged to my husband's parents. He inherited it when his dad passed away 5 years back. His mom, who still lives with us now, suffered a fall and hurt her leg not too long afterwards, which ended up with her having to live in a wheelchair. So we had it reformed into a barrier-free, one-story bungalow to make her life there as easy and stress-free as possible. Around the same time, my husband also bought the house next door, which had been vacant for years. then had the connecting wall demolished to almost double the floor space. Even despite all that, buying the house, hiring the builders, paying for the materials, insuring the place, having wheelchair access facilities fitted, we still never struggled for cash. Wow. Basically, because you went on a foolishly irresponsible spending spree that was well beyond what you could afford, you're now a broke loser groveling around in the depths of soul-crushing poverty and despair. I guess everyone's definitions for poverty are probably different, but at least from where I'm standing, I don't feel like we're poor. That's only because you're too poor to have ever known what it's like to possess large amounts of money, my dear. I knew it. Without the sagely advice of someone highly respected, loved, and accomplished like myself, the wife of a CEO, you're not even capable of making even the bare minimum of decisions required to get by in life. You really are the most tragic human being I've ever met. You'll have to excuse me, but I have work soon, so I'm gonna have to head off. It's okay, dear, I understand. You'll get fired if you don't do as your boss tells you. I get it. It must really suck to be poor. But, Monica, really, I do at least think you should make the effort not to let your poor coworkers catch wind of the foul stench of your poverty. Everyone will be too grossed out to work, and productivity will be down across the board. Oh, that reminds me. Me and the other moms from kindergarten are throwing a New Year's party this Saturday. It'll be held at my apartment. You know, the top floor apartment of the luxury apartment building overlooking the river on 5th Street. But of course, no broke losers will be invited. I can't wait to look down on your pathetic papier-mâché cockroach den from the balcony of my luxury apartment while we sip our $10,000 champagne. We'll be so high up above you, your pitiful excuse of an apartment will look like nothing more than a piece of garbage. Oh, did I tell you our $10,000 champagne will contain specks of gold dust? I know you couldn't possibly imagine what it's like to indulge in such sophisticated extravagance, but hopefully these messages aren't making you too jealous. Oh, of course, if you're absolutely desperate to come to my New Year's party and find out how the chosen few live, you need to get rid of that stench of poverty you radiate by moving up in the world until you make at least $100K a year. Only then will I consider sending you an invite. What on earth do you think you're playing at, Monica? Why would you come to my New Year's party? I made it very clear you weren't welcome. Why would you go out of the way to bug me over messages when we're at the same party? If you have a problem with me, come and say it to my face, Roxanne. That doesn't answer my question. What does a poverty-stricken loser like you think she's doing at a party of a CEO's wife? Anyway, what gives you the right to let yourself into my apartment like this? The roof of this building is a sacred place for the upper crust of society, life's winners like me. Poor people don't belong here, and you're not welcome. Think you had the nerve to bring your husband with you, too. I have no idea how you managed to get past security. But I'd rather you didn't stink out my luxury apartment with the rotten stench of your poverty. I'm going to have to spray some air freshener because of you. What a surprise that was! I genuinely have no idea how a broke loser like you ended up getting into my invite-only party, or what made you think you had the right to come in the first place for that matter. I made it very clear you were only to come if you made more than $100K a year. That didn't give you any right to pour a bottle of champagne over my head. You unlawfully entered my apartment and you paid the price. I didn't do anything wrong. I was merely defending my property. Besides, I poured that bottle of champagne over your head out of kindness. Kindness? I figured if I could drench you in champagne, it might help get rid of the stench of poverty that follows you around wherever you go. But thanks to your illegal entry into my apartment, my luxury top-of-the-range Persian rug is covered in champagne now. I'll have you know that rug cost $7,000. If you don't compensate me for the damage you've done, I'll be forced to take extreme measures. Obviously, this should go without saying, but a cleaning won't do it. You've ruined the fabric forever, so you need to buy me a brand new rug. I know $7,000 probably amounts to a year's wages for the likes of a broke depth groveler like yourself. And I wouldn't be surprised if you even had to move out of your cockroach-infested apartment and live on the streets to come up with the money, but you should have thought about that before you spoiled my rug. Listen to me, Roxanne. You don't seem to be aware of this, but it was your husband who invited me and my husband. Huh? Initially, we were only supposed to be paying him a visit in his office on the second floor to make a few inquiries. But when we arrived, he told us he had some urgent business to attend to and apologetically invited us to wait for an hour upstairs in your apartment. He appeared to know that me and you are kindergarten acquaintances, so I guess he figured it'd make sense to invite me to your New Year's party to kill some time while he dealt with whatever stuff he had going on. He came up with us in the elevator, let us in, and showed us to the living room before disappearing off somewhere in a hurry. Huh? But what reason could you and your husband possibly have for visiting my husband's company? Your husband said he'd be messaging you about that. Huh? Haven't you heard anything from him? I don't know, maybe in a message or an email? Well, hold on, let me check. Oh my God, what in the Lord's name is happening? Monica, you're the president of my husband's company's biggest client company? In the hell? How haven't I heard about this before? That's not all. What the hell are you doing living in a tiny ground floor apartment with a job like that? I thought you were broke. Excuse me? Let me get this straight. You thought I was poor because I live in a ground floor apartment? Who lives in ground floor apartments apart from broke losers? Everyone knows celebrities and successful people live on the top floor so they can look down on the peasants. Ah, I see. So that's why you went out of your way to get an apartment on the top floor, huh? Because in your mind, being that high up is the ultimate form of status symbol? What, are you saying it's not a status symbol? Of course, everyone's free to have their own ideas about the world. But I personally don't see any link between the altitude of someone's house and their value as a human being. And if I'm honest, I think that's a very shallow and superficial way of looking at the world. What the heck are you talking about? I did tell you this before, but my mother-in-law lives with me and my husband. She lives in a wheelchair, so it was a must that our place not have any stairs. That's why we bought the vacant house next door, had the second floors of both houses demolished, and had it converted into a big, spacious, barrier-free bungalow. Anyway, haven't you heard? Bungalows are in fashion these days. All the celebs and successful people are buying them. Oh my God, are they really? Hey, what's this crap I'm hearing about you terminating your contract with my husband's company? I take it your husband explained the situation to you then? My contract with your husband's company is terminated with immediate effect. Oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this just because I poured a bottle of champagne over your head as a joke. You have no right to drag my husband into this. This crosses the line. No way. Do you think that's the only reason I'm doing this? Huh? But my husband just called. He was furious. He said this was all happening because of my rude attitude at the New Year's party and that I had to apologize to you immediately. Listen, Roxanne, I'm not going to pretend you pouring a bottle of champagne over my head in front of everyone at your New Year's party has nothing to do with the contract termination. You mean there's another reason? I don't know how your husband explained it to you, but the reason me and my husband visited your husband's office on the second floor was to notify him we were terminating the contract. It was already decided at that point. What? I don't know how much of this I should tell you, since as far as I'm aware, you don't have anything to do with the management of your husband's company. But to summarize, I got sick of his failure to meet deadlines, the constant issues with quality when shipments did arrive, and not to mention the horrendous attitude his employees gave me when I tried raising the issues with them. He and his company have been impossible to work with these last 6 months, and it reached the point where I simply couldn't overlook it anymore because it was interfering with our ability to provide quality to our customers. If I'd let it continue, I am almost certain it would have had knock-on effects for our reputation and revenues. After lengthy discussions with my husband, who's responsible for client meetings, and other executives within our company, I decided we had no choice but to terminate the contract. To be honest, I had already made up my mind, but there was a small chance I'd have been willing to negotiate with your husband if he showed sincerity in wanting to improve. Until you poured champagne over my head, that is. With that, I resolved to wash my hands of the both of you for good. Oh my God. Wait, hang on a second. No way. Oh, surely all this stuff with my husband is just business. Why throw away our friendship too? Now I know you're rich and successful and that me and you are on the same level. We can grow closer than ever before. The same level as you? I get that you might be upset with my husband's company, but why throw away a friendship in the process? It seems like such a waste. Won't you rethink this, please, Monica? I can't say I was ever the type to link people's value as human beings to how much money they have, but I know that you take great pleasure in it. Which is why you should know that once your husband loses this contract, which accounts for over 80% of his sales, the future of his company probably isn't gonna look so bright. What? I advise you to consider the implications of that before talking to him. Monica, could you please lend me some money? Say what now? I'm sure you've already heard, but my husband's company went bankrupt. Yeah, I may have heard a thing or two about that. Well, this means we're not going to be able to carry on living in this luxury high-rise apartment. You mean you're not going to be able to keep up with the rent? Yes. My husband's unemployed after his company went bankrupt, so he has to start from scratch and find a new job. Which is why I'd really appreciate if you could lend me just enough to cover the rent on this apartment. How about you just move somewhere more appropriate for your level of income instead of begging for money? Your husband's parents are looking after your son right now, right? So you either need to ask really nicely and hope one of your parents will let you move in with them until you get back on your feet, or if that doesn't work out, find a new job with a company that provides employee accommodation. No, I can't do that. Me? Work a job? Oh my God. It's not right that a woman of my status should have to associate with the peasants and work a normal person job. My status demands that I live on the top floor. Sure, I might have lost my title as CEO's wife, but that's just all the more reason I can't afford to lose this high-rise apartment. Listen, Roxanne, the thing is, you're going to lend me some money? Have you taken a shower lately? Huh? Do you wash your clothes? What the hell kind of questions are these? A close friend of mine lives in the same apartment block as you, but she told me that every time she walks past the housewife from the top floor, she has to hold her nose because she smells so bad. She said she gets the impression you're trying to cover up the smell by drenching your entire body in perfume. She says the smell resembles something like a mixture of your natural body odor and something that can only be described as not belonging to this world. Oh my God, do I smell that bad? Yes, you really smell that bad. Apparently the smell is so awful that the company managing the apartments are currently in the process of writing up their claim against you because of the distress your stench is causing the rest of the residents. No, it's not me. They're mistaking me for someone else. That's funny because when I asked her for your room number, she gave me yours. No, there has to be some kind of mistake. I really think you should do something about this, Roxanne, and sooner rather than later. No, I do not smell! I did wonder for a second whether the culprit behind the rotten stench might be Roxanne's husband, but it turned out that by that point, he'd already moved back in with his parents who lived 10 minutes away, which meant that the only one left behind in that foul-smelling room was Roxanne, all alone and with nothing left but her wounded pride. As for why the place smelled so bad, I found out later that the utilities got cut as a result of their failure to pay the rent, which in the middle of the summer in a place this hot is never going to end well. Even in spite of that, Roxanne, whose sense of self-esteem seemed entirely dependent on her living on the top floor of a luxury apartment block, defiantly stayed behind for a short while despite receiving several eviction notices. Eventually, though, she lost her nerve and moved out. I don't know whether it was because of the constant complaints from the neighbors, but they must have been elated when they found out she was gone. With that, she moved in with her husband and his parents. In desperate need of cash, she was forced to get a part-time job at a nearby supermarket, which is where she now spends her days doing the bare minimum of work to get by while riddled with chronic self-esteem issues due to her intolerably putrescent body odor. Thanks for watching, folks. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to prove what a boss you are by liking and subscribing. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We can't wait to see you again next time.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
William, we have a huge problem right now. I need you to answer me.
Huh? What do you want from me, Catherine? I'm about to become rich really soon here. So leave me alone and get back to doing whatever the heck it is you do with your life now.
This is not the time for you to be at the casino, William. Something very serious has happened.
Jeez, you're at it again trying to act like my mother. You were my dad's second choice, you know that?
And your dad just got into a serious car accident and had to be taken away in an ambulance because his injuries were that serious.
Huh?
I just got a call saying he's on his way to a hospital, so you need to hurry up and get over there as well.
Sure, I guess.
Excuse me, William. Are you back out gambling at that casino again?
I sure am, and?
Today is your dad's memorial, and tomorrow he's going to be buried at the cemetery. You should already be aware of that, right?
I know already. Jeez, I plan to be there at 6 p.m. when the memorial begins.
But I want you here right now so that you can help me with some of the preparations.
I'm sure you do. This is your last chance to do anything wife-like for my dad, and after this we won't need you anymore. I'll make sure to do away with you and finally have the peace and quiet I've been wishing for.
You're in the same shoes as me, though. This is your last chance to be like a son to your dad. So don't you want to be here right now to make some of your last memories you'll ever have with him?
Honestly, second wives like you are also freaking unbearable. Ooh, I just hit a jackpot.
William!
I want to talk about my inheritance.
What?
I want to talk about the inheritance I'm getting from my dad. You're going to help me get every penny that man left behind for me, right?
Listen here, William. That is not the kind of thing you should be asking about right now when his funeral only just happened today.
But considering the fact that you're my dad's second wife, I'm sure you're going to try and lay your hands on all of his money, and I have to make sure something like that never happens.
Jesus Christ, you child. I plan to talk with the lawyer in a couple of weeks about the money and assets your dad has left behind in his death.
Huh? You telling me a lawyer is going to be around to deal with what he left behind?
Just in case we need any help. Your dad didn't leave behind a very large will or anything, but it would be nice to have some legal help in this, since I'm his second wife and we also have you to consider when it comes to what goes to who. Now, would you just forget about his money for the time being and focus on respecting your dad for the man he was?
What a pain in the ass.
Another thing, all of your dad's family is going to be coming over to the house right now to stay for a bit, since a lot of them came all the way out here from different parts of the U.S.
What? Why?
Because you haven't bothered to do anything in order to help out with getting all your dad's things in order, so I'm having them stay at the house in order to help me instead.
Catherine? It's been a couple of weeks now, so can we talk about the money yet?
So this is about the inheritance your dad has left behind?
Well, what else would I be talking about? I've become tired of waiting for some lawyer to get all that work done that you got them involved for, so I'm going to give you a piece of my mind and put an end to all of this waiting around.
I guess I'll have to ask. What exactly do you have to say?
You, being my dad's second wife, makes you a stranger. And as a stranger, I don't want anything to do with you. So that means I'm cutting ties to you now, which now means all of that money and crap that my dad's left behind will become mine now.
What? Do you have any idea what it means to be a legal inheritor of someone's things?
You're talking about someone who's legally obligated to someone else's things after they've died, right? Yeah, I already looked into all of that.
I see. Then, when it comes to what you've just told me, even though you are aware of the fact that I'm the legal inheritor of your dad's things, having been his wife, you're going to tell me to leave it all so that you can have it?
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure that you only married my dad to get all of his money in the first place, right? But had you not gotten in the way and married my dad after he got rid of his first wife, all of that money would be coming to me. In other words, all of that money and crap that he had was mine, and that means I'm legally allowed to get it from you.
I guess I can explain all of this to you instead of letting the lawyer do it.
What are you talking about? I'm not going to listen to any more of your excuses.
I'm sure you're not going to, and I understand that. Then please allow me to say this one last thing to you before I go. Did you know that when I got married to your dad, he and I got ourselves a lawyer who made it so that I would not be given access to any of his money and assets after he passed?
Wait, are you serious?
I know that neither of us had said anything to you about it this whole time. But I happen to have a company of my own right now, so I have no need for any of your dad's things.
Whoa, what the heck? Then there was no reason for you to get a dang lawyer involved, now was there? It's already been decided that everything will be going to me, so all I have to do is go and get what's mine.
But William, do you not know anything about this yet?
About what?
Your dad and his previous wife had a daughter together before they separated.
What?
She had her just before you, which means that she's around the same age. 28 years old now, if I'm remembering your age correctly. He and his daughter kind of stopped talking to one another long ago because of reasons, but that didn't stop her from being his daughter, and that did not erase her from the will he wrote regarding what he left behind.
Huh?
By the way, during the funeral, she was there, and she even went up to say one last goodbye to your dad while he was in the casket. I'm sure she was even sitting with all your dad's family there.
Hold on a sec. You're telling me that my dad and my mom both had another girl before she left, and that's who that girl is?
That's right. However, your mom took custody of her in the divorce and left you to your dad, and that's why you never really heard anything about her. And I think that was what both your mom and dad wanted to happen. Now, the reason why I asked you to get a lawyer involved in all of this lies with what I just told you. I was worried that she would be coming back to look for her money from her dad, and that would lead to some confrontations with you, and so I wanted a professional around to help straighten things up. The thing is, though, I didn't think the only person who would be causing so much trouble would be the young man I'm talking to right now. That lawyer will want to talk to you in 3 days, so when he's around, please listen to everything he has to say about what's been left behind and what is yours.
I am not going to let this happen. Why am I not allowed to get any of my dad's money? I'm my freaking dad's son, am I not? At the very least, shouldn't I be splitting whatever my dad left behind with that daughter he had with my mom? My sister, I guess? Why the hell is it only her getting all of my dad's things now?
And perhaps that has to do with the fact that she actually cared about her dad and became an outstanding daughter for him?
Huh? I'm the outstanding child.
I'm sure you're not fully understanding everything from the past, but the woman your dad had his daughter with was not your mom, but another woman he married before your mom. But she left him right as she had his daughter, and not too long after he married your mom. But you were already born by the time he married her, so you were just her son that she brought along into his life. I know this will come as a shocker to you in some ways, but you're not your dad's real child. You should kind of already be aware of that, though, right? Your mom wasn't even your dad's first choice, and he got married to her while she dragged you into his life because he needed someone to comfort him. Then, after a while had passed and you had turned 20, your mom left this world and both your dad and you, right? Your dad was again single, and the loneliness made him turn to me a few years after her death. And that's why I've been his wife and your mom for the past 5 years. That's the whole story I had been told by the lawyer. Does all of that sound correct to you?
That's all spot on, but I know all of that. But I know that my dad chose to marry my mom after his first wife left him. Which means he should be totally fine with me getting all of his inheritance as his son, right?
What?
What?
William, your dad never legally adopted you as his own son, right?
What? I guess not. I remember hearing things about how he never wanted to have custody of me as his child and wanted my mom to always care for me. Something like that. But what does that have to do with anything? As far as I'm aware, it means nothing now.
Do you think that just because your mom married him, you would be getting all of your dad's inheritance after he passed away?
Huh?
This is something else that the lawyer explained to me. When you went and first talked with him about the inheritance and who would be getting it, you were so shocked by what he said that you didn't even bother to listen to the second half of the explanation. Is that true?
I guess he's right. After he told me I wasn't getting a penny, I don't remember anything. It's all just really vague now.
To put all of what the lawyer said into simple terms, because your dad did not legally adopt you as his son, that means you don't get access to any of his money.
Are you freaking kidding me?
So give up on it now. I'm sure you don't want to accept any of this, but you can't continue acting like a spoiled child at your age.
But if I don't get that money, I'll be screwed.
And how would you be screwed if you didn't get his money?
I'm in debt.
Really?
Thinking that I'd be getting all of my dad's money, I started to have a field day at the casino, betting on all kinds of games and playing all kinds of machines. I borrowed a lot of money to do so, but everything I bet on at all the machines that I played, I lost. I have to do something about all of this debt before the end of the month, or else I'm gonna be royally screwed.
Seriously?
The end of the month is really soon.
What the hell have you done, William?
But come on!
I'm going to find myself a temporary place until I can calm down, and I'm having all of my things moved into there.
What?
I'm afraid you will try and take my money soon in order to pay off your debts, so I need to get away from you.
Wait a second. What about the house and food?
Not my problem anymore.
Listen here, Catherine. After taking some time to think this all through, things are a lot more simple than I had first thought. All I have to do now is have you adopt me as your child and be taken care of by you.
What the hell?
Catherine, you run your own company now, right? In other words, that means you have plenty of money just sitting around waiting to be used. Also, you don't happen to have any children yet, right? So that means as long as I become your adopted son, I can get access to your inheritance when you're gone, which would mean I can pay off all this debt.
Hey, William, you do understand that I'm only in my early 40s right now, right?
What? I know that, sure.
And you do understand how to get access to someone's inheritance, right? So far, I haven't had any issues with any sort of illness that would reduce my time on this earth any, so you'll be waiting quite a while for any money to be coming from me. The thing is, though, I'm not willing to give you any of my things anyway after I die. Are you really that desperate now that you're trying to act like I'm going to die soon and that you can get my money?
Huh? Oh, no, wait, that's not what I meant by that.
Well, whatever you say about those comments, I've already gone and made up my mind on who gets my money. And that is going to be my niece, who will not only be getting all my money when I pass away, but also my company and all of its assets. So no matter what you try and do from here on out, you're not going to get your hands on any of my stuff.
No way. Catherine, I just got an idea.
And what could it be this time?
That niece of yours that you were talking about yesterday. Introduce her to me.
Huh?
I'm gonna get married to your niece now. Making her my wife would mean that she'd have to help me pay off my debt. And as for this first part of the debt that has to be paid off here soon, I'll just use her savings in order to do so. Oh, thank God. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to come up with a solid plan in time. With this, I'll finally be able to get past this bump in the road and be safe. And on top of that, I'll be able to become the husband of a future company owner. I'll be frickin' rich. My life is gonna be so easy. I've finally done it.
My niece is married, William.
What?
And she already had 2 kids with her husband.
She seriously has kids as well?
William, would you cut that crap out right now and pull your own pants up for once?
What?
Every single day, day after day, all you ever do is gamble. Slot machines, roulette tables, poker games, horse racing. Us normal people call adults like you gambling addicts. I'm sure you made it this far with that addiction of yours by having all your dad's money at your disposal, but you cannot do that anymore and have to start taking responsibility for yourself. Get a dang job now, please. And if you're wanting to say that you don't want to work or that you don't like working, then prepare yourself for a life of even greater struggles.
You're asking me to work now?
I'm sure no self-respecting company would want to hire you, but I can introduce you to some good manual labor jobs that wouldn't mind the extra meat.
What?
Actually, I don't need an answer from you because I'm going to make you work for them. That house you're in now that you've lived in with your dad and I will be gone at the end of the month.
What? You're getting rid of it?
I'm sure you were aware of this, but your dad was renting that large house this whole time. I could take the place for myself and start paying rent on it for you and I, but I don't find living with you a very good joke anymore, and that's why I'm gone. I've actually taken additional steps in order to stay away from you by changing my last name back to that of my parents' last name, and we'll be heading home to them soon. Since I'm no longer in that house anymore, there's no way for you to pay the rent, right? Which is why that place will be gone at the end of this month.
Are you kidding me? Catherine, this place that you introduced me to work at, I didn't think you'd be putting me into a freaking internment camp. This all-black van just pulled up to the house and 4 men have all just jumped out of it.
Ah, so you know about where they'll be taking you then?
One of my friends was taken away by guys like those 10 years ago, and ever since that happened, I never heard from him again.
I've heard that after having one's life turned around and made into a dependable adult, they no longer want to get in touch with the bad influences they'd hung out with before. So I'm sure that your friend from 10 years ago is now working a proper job and making a decent living that he doesn't want you ruining.
For crying out loud, Catherine!
You'll be fine. They're not going to take you to some internment camp where you'll have to live the rest of your life working for them until you die. I just happen to know a company that does really well with hiring undisciplined men like you and turning them into decent members of this society through long days of hard manual labor at a stone quarry.
How the hell is 4 men hopping out of a blacked-out van not something that's gonna kill me? Catherine! Hey, I'm in seriously bad trouble now here. I didn't think that having to work all the way out in the middle of nowhere could be this bad, but it is. I've already tried calling you 100 times now. Come on! Help me, please! Ah!
On the day that the all-blacked-out van pulled up to get William, he was only just getting out of bed, and so when he noticed the van and made a run for it, he only had his boxers on. The only issue for him was he weighed close to 300 pounds due to never being active and always eating junk food, so he only made it close to 30 feet from the house before collapsing. And as he flipped over to see who was coming, the largest of the four men, who was muscle from head to toe, lifted him off the ground and threw him into the back of their van, all while William screamed like a little girl. He was forced to start working in the quarry the moment he was dropped off there, but they forgot to take away his phone, and that's what led to him spam calling me all night long. And during the following day, when he was still trying to get in touch with me, his boss saw the phone and became furious with rage. As a sort of a side note to all of this, William got himself into $35,000 worth of debt from gambling. I suppose as long as William is able to continue working for that quarry without dying of a heart attack or stroke, he'll be able to pay everything off. As for myself, I've begun to calm down little by little, but with the thoughts of my late husband still running through my mind, I've felt lonely. But it's only been a few weeks now since his death, so give it a few more days, and I'm sure I'll be ready to get back to my life as a CEO, living it for the both of us. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.